to you about today, not I'm going to speak to you about jargon and research. I'm going to speak to you about what.
Excuse me, please. Excuse me, pardon me.
Has brought
Can you
me
get through?
to this point.
Thank you.
And one of the things that has brought me to this point is empathetic dialogue, talking to people and making things happen. What do I mean by that? I'll tell you a little story. I was with my dentist, I think a few months ago, and the dentist came up to me and said, "Hey, you're blind." I said, "Yes, I am." And she said, "But if you're blind, I cannot show you the shape of your teeth on the screen, so I don't know how to work with you. Maybe you should find somebody else." And I said to the dentist, I said, "Look, I understand you don't know how to speak to me, but then we can always figure out the best ways that you can communicate with me." And we sat down and worked out how she could explain things to me using physical teeth and physical toys and objects so that it made sense. So that's what I do today, is I am beginning a process of dialogue to reach out to as many people as I can to remove some of the biases they have, to change some beliefs, to make some things happen, so that I'm not asking, but I'm working with you, and you're not working for me. So that's why I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy to be inspired by all the speakers who have gone before and all the speakers after, and everything that's happening. And thank you to all the organizers for creating this platform for us. Thank you so much. This has been a great pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And, you know, as he mentioned, if there's a will, there's a way, right? To communicate in different ways, but we all have to be open to it. Okay, we are moving right along. We have a wonderful speaker who is coming up. We have Ms. Jennifer Rose, who is going to be speaking for or assisting Alexei Chaffee, and she will explain how this is going to work. And Jennifer, you're going to read this part for her, right?
Right.
All right.
What? Yeah. 20 years ago, I was really into social media. Not Facebook, mind you. I didn't have a college email. Rather, I was interested in the American Girl website, which had its own message boards where girls from all over the country could connect with each other. After seeing the various conversations I wrote with my friends online, my Girl Scout troop leader said, and I quote, "Wow, if only we could get her talking the way she types, we'd be on a roll." I'm sure the parent of every speller, autistic or otherwise, feels that way about their kids. And that's why we can't leave our autistic non-speakers behind and assume the bare minimum. The bright, disruptive kid running around and flopping their hands weirdly, he could be quite intelligent. The girl who screams bloody murder, she's just trying to make her voice heard. They may not become the next Carly Fleshman, but they have their own thoughts, feelings, and potential they can bring out to the world. They need an outlet for them, as well as someone to presume their competence, so to speak. As someone who, while always verbal, always struggled for words because of my disability, I knew all too well how difficult it could be not to have my full potential realized. I have also been brought to tears from the various stories of the amazing people who are spellers. Valerie Tompkins' Mother's Day message to her mom, thanking her for giving her a voice and fighting to give others the same treatment, made me cry. And so, without further ado, I bring to you Alex Coffey, a young woman who conveyed something beautiful while fighting for so much. God bless our phenomenal community. Want to get my ideas about my way of experiencing life as a girl with autism who has words but can't say the ones I need. Want to tell you that I am a girl with autism, so most people think that means I have a problem with understanding them. I do not ever have a problem understanding anything. My biggest problem is showing people that I understand. We all have brains that understand, even if we can't do what you ask us to do. I want to advocate for everyone who does not communicate, gets to find a way to communicate, so you can tell all your thinking, not just a few stupid things. I want everyone who listens to my speech today to know that communication is a real thing for you, even if nobody realizes it yet. Want to share my experience with you because when I was younger, I knew I had a good brain, but I never knew I was going to be able to show anyone. Want to say true freedom does not come until you can share your real thinking. I want to tell parents not to be sad that the children they have struggle to talk because they have brilliant minds and are constantly thinking and learning. Even if you don't see it and they are acting bad sometimes, that is not because they are trying to make your life hard. They are just having hard times sometimes. Do not exhaust yourself trying to make us calm and happy. Sometimes we just need to work our way through the stress, and when you try to help, it makes it last longer. When you get stressed out trying to stop us from being stressed out, it makes us more stressed out, and then we are all stressed out. My advice is to stop talking when your kid is upset. Want to say talking is the most annoying thing when I am upset. Want you to know we know you want to help, but you do not always know what to do, and I hope you can help your kid better now. I think having only one person try to help is good because if many people try, it is more upsetting. I want to get more time to talk to more people about how to help people like me. Thank you. Thank you. High five. Thank you for sharing your story with me, Alexis.
Thank you so much, Jennifer Rose and Alexi Chaffee, for that beautiful and powerful piece. Todd, you want to say a few words before we present our next speaker?
Again, can we give a round of applause or your whatever the snaps, which I can't do, for Alma? Okay. I just want to thank Alma, but really to thank all of you and everyone, Alex and everyone who has made this afternoon possible. I'm so honored to be invited. Apparently, Alma told me that I was hired again. I'm incredible. Who knew? Wow.
I told them the pay wasn't very good, though.
I don't get the pay. I'm getting a lot of pay by just being among all of you and hearing your story. So I love you guys. Let's keep fighting for disability rights, which are
Human rights.
Okay, thank you so much. Love to you all.
Okay, before we do present our last presenter, I'm going to read something by someone who was unable to attend today, who was going to be here, but she's graduating from her master's program today, and so she couldn't be here, but I'm going to read what she was going to read. Okay. It's an old friend named Christine Panza, who was actually in school with my daughter over here. My name is Christine Panza, and I am 25 years old. I am a longtime Montclair resident. However, I have recently been spending most of my time in Boston, where I attend graduate school. A few years ago, I spoke at this event about the genetic condition that has caused my disability, and today I'd like to talk about the way my condition has evolved and my need for frequently changing accommodations. I'd also like to talk about the necessity of being your own advocate. I'm going to switch mics because I'm going to need two hands for this, for enlarging. The condition I was born with is called NF2, and over the last 16 years, it has caused progressive disability. When I was diagnosed first at the age of 9, my only disability was an occasional seizure, and the only accommodation I needed was a little bit of time in the nurse's office to recover. In high school, due to the pain of my brain tumors, I often needed to stay home from school and sometimes needed extra time to complete assignments. As the disease progressed in college, I began to have mobility issues and reduced hearing. The university I attended was very good at meeting my increased needs. They provided me with a dorm that had elevators and recorded lectures so I could review the material that I wasn't able to completely hear when I attended the live classes. By the time I was in graduate school, I had become completely deaf and my balance had deteriorated to the extent that it was difficult for me to walk long distances. I found myself needing more accommodations than the university was able to deliver. Because I had lost all of my hearing and did not know ASL, American Sign Language, I fell behind in my studies. The transition from the hearing world to the deaf world left me shaken and unsettled. In addition, the demands of the program were very rigorous and without proper accommodations. I began to fail my classes. At the end of my first year, they asked me to leave the program. Boo, I'm gonna say boo. The university made excuses as to why they had not been able to deliver on what they had promised. The head of disability services had left recently, and they hadn't yet found a replacement. The transcribing service they hired took 72 hours to turn around the live lecture material. They didn't have the technology to have the live captioning appear at the front of the classroom, only on my phone or laptop. All of these difficulties were a strain on my ability to learn the material. At that point, I came to realize that I would have to be my own advocate. I petitioned my dismissal and won. And they let me back in the program. Then, together with the dean and vice dean, we redesigned the deaf and hard of hearing accommodations, researched the technology, and set up the right providers that could deliver the technology in a timely and meaningful manner. Once these accommodations were in place, I excelled in my studies and became one of the top scoring students in the program. This is my last semester in the program, and I am proud to say that in 2 weeks, I will be graduating with this was supposed to be for May 3rd, the original date of the parade. I will be graduating with a master's degree in anatomy and neurobiology from Boston University, graduate medical sciences. But I am just as proud that I was able to reach this milestone by advocating for the accommodations that I needed, and also that I have perhaps made the road a little less bumpy for the next graduate student at Boston University who may need hearing accommodations. By Christine Panza. Thank you. Thank you. I also want to say that Ray Hoffman over here is married to Laura Hoffman, and they are volunteering their time and talents today to do ASL. We are so grateful. Our final presenter for today is John Levy, right? Is that how we pronounce it? Because I've only read it. Come on up, John. John was a last-minute addition to our parade because I saw him on Facebook, profiled by BaristaNet, correct? Was that it? I'm sorry, Montclair Neighbors. He was on the cover of Montclair Neighbors. And I saw what an amazing person he was, an advocate. So at the last minute, I asked John to present, and he very fortunately said he would. So please welcome first-time presenter at our wonderful parade, John Levy.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
It's so great that Mother Nature cooperated for us today. My name is John Levy. I was born on January 17th, 1984. I've lived in Montclair basically my entire life. I attended Nishuane, Hillside, Mount Hebron, and Montclair High School. I graduated from Montclair High School in 2003. I have autism. Throughout my education and employment, I've had to work extra harder than many people to be proficient. I have a variety of interests, one very unique one, which is common to people with autism: trains. I also love to do photography and exercising. Despite having autism, I am successful in several capacities. I've been able to perform great in school, graduating in the top 20th percentile of my high school class. Okay. I have been in wonderful performance standing at my job, and I'm employed with Hudson Community Enterprises. I have been working there for over 11 years. I have been known to have great interpersonal skills. My saying for people: awesomeness and having abilities never discriminates to neurodivergent people. Yeah. And I feel that as a society, there are, while many people are generally supportive toward people with neurodivergent conditions, I think we can do a lot better as a whole. And they should put themselves in our shoes. 'Cause nobody is perfect.
Thank you so much, John Levi. And as often happens in this parade, people who are attending get inspired to speak. And I was just asked if you guys would all wait around just for one more minute, because someone who is in the audience wants to be able to say a few words. Are we cool with that? All right, we have Mr. Angel Ortiz, who's about to make his way up to the stage. And while he's coming up here, I want to thank everybody who has attended, participated, family support of Essex County. We would not have been able to do this without them. 1 in 6 support, Montclair State Disability Caucus, and the People with Disabilities Committee. We are very grateful to everyone who's been a part of this, especially all of you for coming out and showing your support. So we are going to leave it. Angel, you are going to close out the 2025 Disability Pride Parade with your words. So you want to come over here?
Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. I want to thank the Family Support Organization of Essex County, as well as the people of Essex County. You know, like, my experience with, disability goes all the way back towards when I was, like, growing up as a young child. You know, being able to have speech delay for the past few years has been really tough, especially given the fact that, like, I have to be able to, like, learn how to, like, say a few words. And, you know, eventually, like, at some point I was able to get speech therapy, and I started to be able to walk and being able to talk and be able to meet new people who, like, I didn't even know who they were, and eventually I ended up, like, being friends with them. And, you know, throughout the past several years, you know, even, like, beyond the disabilities, but being able to, like, you know, share my story, and, like, you know, given the fact that I grew up, like, you know, like, when I was, like,